Alright guys, it's Numismatic Okie here, and this will be the first in a several part series about the reclaiming or capturing or recovering of gold, and then how to refine it, because when you recover it, it will always be mixed with other metals. Different coppers, nickels, palladium group metals, and you gotta be really careful when you're working with anything palladium group. It creates extremely toxic gases that are very harmful to your lungs, to your skin, could possibly kill you, but at the very least you will be sick for a very long time. And there's the ram, which I had explained earlier, how you cut the fingers off, and there's the ram fingers off of a ram, one of these. It's actually, it was off of one of these little laptop cards, you see there. And then I said off the PCI cards, you also can get the board. These are off of big computer cards. I just break them off at the edge. And then process them with the RAM. And then this, obviously I showed earlier, is that 100 gram. In fact, I'm gonna weigh it real quick, see what it really is. See if this will work out. Oops. Okay, 10 ounces, extra grain grams. Here we go. 105.4. So the guy I bought this from is a good seller, because he was selling it as 100 grams and there's 5.3, 5.4 grams extra there. So that's a good eBay seller right there. That's someone I'm definitely gonna favorite and buy from again. And this little bag I got here, I can't remember if I bought this on eBay or found it locally. To be honest, I don't remember. But this is a bag of just the pins that come off of these. So all these little pins here, you can heat up and you can knock them off with very little effort. And that's these guys. So these are what became this. So these are going to process together, these two, because it's the same makeup of gold. Now, to get these off, you have to do what's called trimming them. And you want to get as close to the gold line on here as you can. So you have it like that. That's what you want. And you just keep on doing it. Now this little guy looks like it has a good amount of gold on the back side. So this is going to go, I didn't show this, and I'll do it quickly so we can move on. But these guys all have lots of gold showing on them. They're really, really old, out of phone cards. These are out of old telephone systems from the 80s. So these are back when they still used lots of gold. That one there, a bigger one. All of that's gold. I'll go through these guys. I broke it apart to make it easier. So all of these are like those trimmed cards that I showed in a previous video, except these ones have a high amount of gold in them. So I'm actually going to process these to see what they yield out. So you'll go through here and go through here. It just, it takes time. It's really easy though. I mean, I'm not really, it feels like cutting a thick sheet of construction paper with these trimming shears. Add those in there. And you just keep going through. I mean, it's a good way to pass the time, play some music. So that's how you do all that. And you just keep going and going and going and going. I'll even do a big one. See, here's one of the bigger ones. Oops, sorry, not in frame. So there's one of those bigger ones. Trim it real quick, show you guys how that one works. These ones are a little different because they're longer. You got to kind of get the bend of the ram card in your favor. So, a little pile over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up, and we'll see what we got in here in this little guy when we're done, and that's what we'll start with. So I'm gonna finish these up, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, welcome back out to the farm. I got all of them cut. Honestly, not very much. What I'm gonna do is actually add this when it's done to a previous one of these that I've done, so I can finish it out. But we're gonna get the weight first, because we always get a weight when we start. So it's zeroed out. Okay. And it is 36 grams. So just give you a quick tour of my shop building out here. It's my outside building. My wife's drums and one of my bass guitars and my piano. And then my stereo that I have out here. Any of the old timers with me might recognize the old Sherwin Vegas. Those are the RE30 series. Those things will shake this building to its foundation. So we got our 36 grams. Now we're not going to use this little beaker. It's too small for what we're going to do. Going to use this bigger one. Move the camera back a bit. 1,000 milliliters. So I'm going to take these guys. Oh wait, forgot one thing. We're going to be separating the gold foils from excuse me, from the little card chips, the RAM sims, with hydrogen peroxide and hydrochloric acid. So do that. Oops, had one left out. I don't reuse, so get our little guy here. Move the scale out of the way. So I'll get that to stick in there afterwards, but that's going to be for the bubbles to agitate it. Helps the process move along a little faster. So we're going to start with good old-fashioned muriatic acid, which is also hydrochloric acid. And probably going to start with probably 300 milliliters. Start with. So, there you go, it's 300 milliliters. And we'll do 150 milliliters. Hydrogen peroxide. So, yeah, this will probably be enough for the whole thing. And then we'll mix this in. Do it slowly. I have a stir stick here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Give me just a second. Alright, sorry about that. Had to do a couple things real quick and I didn't want to waste the filming time, so I went ahead and got it set up. As you can see, I got a little glass plate up here on the top holding the tube in to the spout, and that's just to keep the water moving around. Keeps the reaction going. You can see there's already a reaction. It was about 4 minutes is how long the time between where I said give me a minute and just now. And that green color, that's the coppers, and the other colors coming out from under the gold foils. So the hydrogen peroxide and the hydrochloric acid dissolve the gold that's in there, or not the gold, I'm sorry, but the copper and some of the other base metals, and it comes out and it lifts up the gold, and then the gold will float around. It won't dissolve the gold just floats in it. So this will take probably overnight for this little batch. I may have to come and add some more hydrochloric acid in an hour or two, but I put in this corning dish because it will warm up. Just in case it breaks, I know that this dish will hold it all and it'll be safe because I won't be out here all night. And real quick, I'll just show you the rest of my stuff. I've got my vacuum funnel right there, and I've got some regular little funnels, some different jars for water, and pipettes for adding nitrogen or nitric acid or bleach. My little tweezers if I need to get some. I have a couple of stir sticks. They're here in these graduated cylinders is where I keep them. And then up here, that's my fan going right out with a little switch. I was an electrician years ago, so I wired all up myself. And then I have my hot plates. And this thing right here, I'll show it to you since we're here. This is some gold I've already done this whole process with. All this I've already done to this point here. And you might be able to see some of that gold right there and right there. And this is just a coffee filter I use to filter out everything to get the gold out of it. And down inside this, hang on just a sec. Watch that clip later, make sure you didn't see my face, I'll cut it out. But anyway, down there is gold. Oh, that's the little gold foils. Started out like that, and now it's here. And that's after a couple of days of recovery. So we'll add the gold from this to this, and we'll continue the process from there. So because that little stick got some gold on it, it's going to stay in there. And then we'll go back under the hood for now. So like I said, I can't do the nitric refining yet because I don't have my little glass on here. Once I have that, I'll be able to use nitric. So until then, I'm going to do it with the hydrochloric acid and bleach, which is another way to do it. And there's my bleach, my sulfuric acid, borax for when I do my melts, muriatic acid, a bunch of hydrogen peroxides, sodium metabisulfate, sold as stump out if you go and buy it, stannous chloride, some filters, and gloves that I'm not wearing right now since it's just the peroxide. There's my respirator. And there's the ones we trimmed. Those will be added to that box I showed you in the other video. So we will go ahead and let these guys process for a little bit. All the little bubbles on there and everything, that's the acids working. Or well, the muriatic acid and the peroxide, which isn't really an acid, but that's the solution working. And we'll bring you more here in a little bit.